My aim was just to see, at every stage, to look for one step higher and to go like that.
What strikes you when you hear the word Zero Miles?
That we're at the starting point. Failure is never fun. Of course, unexpected failure, when things seem to be going great and then you have a disastrous result, it catches you off guard. One of the things chess teaches you is simply that you will win games and you will lose games, and it's part of life. I was very lucky in my circumstances. My mother was a good chess player. She knew the game of chess. The only thing I always tell chess players and everyone else is just keep practicing.
Yeah.
It's the best way to understand the subject. It's a beautiful institute. I mean, the moment I walked in, I thought this is amazing. Zero Miles Samvad is very nice event.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank you, Anku. And it's good to be in the India podcast.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anand, for gracing I Am Nagpur event. You have come here. It's called Zero Mile. What strikes you when you hear the word Zero Mile?
That we're at the starting point, and on the other hand, that we're almost at the destination.
Yeah.
So it could mean either one.
So how does it come to you in your life? How has the journey, the miles been for your life? Many turning points, so it has been easy and you made it.
My attitude to the journey was simply that it's a journey. I can't remember when it started, and there's no particular destination in mind. I'm just, it's a journey like life. You just find out it's full of surprises. When I started to play chess, I just wanted to see how good I could get. There were no specific targets. In fact, India didn't even have a grandmaster yet.
Yes.
So my aim was just to see, at every stage, to look for one step higher and to go like that.
Does it go like that after getting there? जब grandmaster का title मिल जाता है, does it make you feel like I've got it? Like when you start, you don't know कहाँ जाना है, but you get some title recognition. How did you take the recognition?
I took it in stride generally. Obviously, it feels like a validation, but when you're very young, you're more excited by how you played the game and than what other people say. But later on, I came to see that the public recognition also is, and the fame, it's a very pleasant experience. The goals got more progressively harder.
Yes.
I mean, for the grandmaster title, I had to try for 2 years. For the qualifying for the world championship took me 3, and then winning the world title took me 10 years. So those are longer journeys. You have to rewire yourself, learn lots of things, learn a lot of hard lessons, and so you cannot just say, "Oh, I tried." It was also more structured as it went along. But the important thing is to keep that attitude of one step at a time.
Taking failure after a great success is tougher. Can you say that?
Failure is never fun. Of course, unexpected failure, when things seem to be going great and then you have a disastrous result, it catches you off guard because you didn't see it coming at all. It's another thing where you see the slow deterioration. That's a separate problem. But when it catches you off guard, that's a blow. But one of the things chess teaches you is simply that you will win games and you will lose games, and it's part of life. You can't avoid both.
You relate life to chess or chess to life?
I don't know. I just relate both of them. I don't know which comes first. Chicken and egg, no?
Chicken and egg, we never found which comes first. What is about this whole game, chess, when we say, why did it come in your journey? Why chess? Were you a very quiet guy, a very person who keeps, observing things and likes that slow and, a sharp mind? Are these your traits that led you to become a chess player?
Not at all. I don't think there are traits that make you a chess player. It was the other way. I was very lucky in my circumstances. My mother was a good chess player. She knew the game of chess, which is already a big step, because 40 years ago, if you wanted to learn chess, you needed a family member or a friend to teach you.
Okay.
You couldn't just look it up. You couldn't look it up and stuff, right? So I was very lucky that my mother and her younger brothers, my uncles and all, played chess.
They would play chess at home?
They knew chess, and they played once in a while. They didn't take it as seriously as I did, of course. So I was lucky. Then I was lucky that Madras was the strongest city in India at that point for chess.
Yeah.
And that we had one of the best chess clubs in India.
Wow.
So in that sense, once my mother introduced me to the game, it went quite fast. I got to compete at a decent level. And then for many years it was fairly quiet, and then I had this breakthrough year in '83, and so it went. But circumstances.
Any anecdote you remember of your mother's and yours where you can remember that this was the turning point in our lives? There's so many things your mother might have taught you. What led to stick with chess?
Maybe the most important thing was my mother instilled in me the habit of every time I play a game and I discuss it and analyze it with my opponent, to come back home and write down the game and write down all the variations that we discussed.
Journal your game?
A kind of journal, yeah. You keep a thing. You just come back and you say, this is the game I played. You write down the notation and then you say, in this move I wanted to do this, but my opponent wanted to do this. You put in all these observations and keep it. And this turned out to be very, very useful.
Yeah.
Because many years later, when you've forgotten what happened, you can look it up.
Wow.
And these are nice things. Also, it teaches you some objectivity. Typically, you know, if we're sitting in an exam and we're doing badly, right after the exam, for 5 minutes maybe, we'll be honest and say, I couldn't remember the answer.
Yes.
1 hour later, no, I remember the answer, but the pen slipped. You'll some excuse. The next day, I remember the answer, but these questions are not even in the portions. Your head will come up with new excuses. So this honest writing your impressions as soon as possible is a good habit.
I think you just said that own up your mistakes immediately before you dismiss it yourself.
Correct.
It's a great learning, but one message that I want to get for the youngsters today, chess has been, now it has become a game of interest rather than an elite game. Do you believe that?
I think it is definitely expanded in more corners of the globe.
Yes.
And in more circles. Of course, we continue and we love the hardcore chess fans, but any modern sport has to have a broader audience than that, and definitely chess has expanded.
It's very tough.
It is a game. I mean, all games are tough. Even games which look easy, if you actually thought about how difficult it is to do, you'll discover that the amount of effort involved is crazy. But I think we are communicating it much better.
Yes.
We have better commentary, we have better graphics, better visuals, and even a casual person can follow a chess game and enjoy it nowadays.
One message, we are in the Management Institute. How do you relate a message for them in terms of management? It helps in the game or life?
The only thing I always tell chess players and everyone else is just keep practicing.
Yeah.
It's the best way to understand the subject.
Anything that you keep practicing, you can excel it after.
Anything you keep practicing, at least you'll have questions. Because you experienced it, you know, when you're sitting on the board, that's when you know, do I do this or do I do that? But it's like reading a recipe. You can read a recipe and think, oh, that's simple.
Yes.
But when you're standing in the kitchen and you think, oh, do I put the salt now or do I put the other thing now? You know, the smaller details. So only when you practice, you get insight into it. I think you cannot understand chess only by reading about it. You have to play it.
You have to play it like you played it. Thank you so much. Belated happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's good to meet someone who's a Sagittarius because so am I.
Okay.
So it's a pleasure meeting you.